Quant is the Microsoft of the blockchain. This was mentioned 4 years ago in a seminar before the ICO of the Quant token by the founder Gilbert Verdian of Quant. We're going to be giving you my live reaction, showing you the full explanation on where this actually comes out from, how Quant will be the Microsoft of the blockchain. We're going to be explaining it to you, giving you my live reaction, and also explaining on how that is even possible. We'll be going through it all in this video. Before we do go any further, if you're new to the Crypto Maxi channel, subscribe and hit the bell to stay updated on the latest on Quant, your favorite cryptos, and the latest on the blockchain. Also remember that nothing is financial advice, guys. Please do your own research. I say this every video because it's really important you guys know that. Everything in this video is public video and knowledge and my personal opinion, and should not be treated as any sort of advice, let alone financial advice. Now, as I mentioned, in this video we're going to be giving you my live reaction, and I think we should get straight to it. It is dating back 4 years ago, as I mentioned, before the ICO, the initial coin offering of Quant, before it even launched, and it was explained by the founder of Quant on how Quant will be the Microsoft of the blockchain, which obviously is a big take, but again, it's a take that I feel like will back itself up, in my opinion, especially with the way they are heading.
So if you think about it a bit more, we're kind of like what Microsoft did. If Microsoft in the 90s made Windows to be internet-based and put Windows OS on top of the internet to create internet apps, that's what we're doing today. So we've got our operating system on top of existing blockchains and future blockchains to create internet-based multi-chain apps where you can actually benefit from the different types of blockchain. So the challenge is with the dApp, it's dApp1 sits on blockchain A, and it...
Now, to be deadly honest with you here so far, we haven't got that much of an explanation as of yet, but we really get to hear the take on how Quant will end up being the, let's say, Microsoft of the blockchain, and the founder is about to go into more detail on how that will be the case.
It does everything on blockchain A. dApp2 sits on blockchain 2 and does everything on blockchain 2. So you can't allow these applications to transfer data and transfer value very easily. It's a problem, and that's what we're solving. So with multi-chain apps, you can actually...
Now, by that, what he means with the decentralized application 1 and 2 is a bit like at the moment in the blockchain, where you cannot have multiple blockchains interacting together. For example, the Solana blockchain and the Ripple blockchain, they wouldn't be able to interact, just like the ERC20 chain and the BEP20 chain, they wouldn't be able to interact together. And this is the problem Quant is solving, where you'll be able to use all the blockchains into one using Quant.
Split your app up, and you can say, well, I want my app to use a bit of Ripple for authentication, I want it to use a bit of Bitcoin for, let's just say, storage of data, and I want it to use Hyperledger because of scalability for resilience. You can actually have that choice with multi-chain applications. You have the flexibility. And as an enterprise, working at HSBC in my career, you have resilience. So if I want to have multiple data sets, multiple applications across different chains, I've got resilience, and we give you that choice. So the benefit is you can live on and run on multiple chains. You're never limited to a single technology. So if I have a problem with one blockchain just because of a security issue or a scalability issue, right now you're limited, you're stuck. But with having multi-chain applications, you can migrate. You're never limited to IBM. You're never limited to Ethereum. You can manage the cost, because if the fees go up, then running an application might have cost you £1 million a year, and if the fees go up, it's going to cost you 100 million, as an example, and you can't afford that.
So yeah, boys, like, sorry for pausing it so much, but I think it's needed for this video. But just imagine this, right? Within, like, if you launched your project in the ERC20 network, whether that's a decentralized application, whether that's an NFT project like we've seen this last year, whether that's a play-to-earn game, whether it's an actual payment service, payment infrastructure, whatever it is, if you started on the ERC20 chain, most likely your fees will be insanely high, especially when there is a lot of pressure on the network. However, if you still wanted to use the ERC20 network for whatever usage, but for, let's say, to make payments or to make confirmations, you use something like Solana or XRP, which is much faster and cheaper, like if that was an option, obviously people would have taken advantage of it already. Unfortunately, this wasn't the case, of course, and we're starting to see this being introduced and Quant really leading the way for it. But yeah, it's going to be massive, especially with how big of a problem they're solving. And it's a pretty clear problem that I think a lot of us have seen as well.
And finally, what we're doing is creating something called treaty contracts with Hamburg University. This is the multi-chain version of smart contracts. So you can execute a smart contract on one chain and move it on to another and recognize it vice versa. So again, a unique innovation. So how are we going to do this? Well, firstly, we're doing that interoperability, which I've mentioned, without an additional blockchain. We're creating an ecosystem so people can build apps. It's all open source. It's all out there, going to be on GitHub, as mentioned previously. Then we're looking to connect the internet directly to all the blockchains, because you can't do that today either. How can you send a TCP/IP connection from the internet to blockchain? It can't be done. So we want to bridge those two mega networks. And finally, what we're looking to do is to create blockchain IPs, which we're calling Quant IP, to be able to do that internet connection, to create that internet of trust. And that's the next generation internet. And we will create applications like a browser or email or messaging, which are decentralized but hyper decentralized. And this is where you come in. We are doing this all open source. It's going to be out there. We're creating a map store, which is coming online Q1 2019.
But yeah, before we continue with the video, as I mentioned, this dates back 4 years ago, around 2018, 2019 time. I think this was at the end of 2018 when it got released. So, long time ago this actually came out, before Quant even launched, before the initial coin offering went live. And yeah, that's how long it dated back. And, we're starting to see these promises really, we've seen the promise, everything has really been met. And what's crazy is we're going to start to see the progress really flourish, as central bank digital currencies do get released, as we see this problem need to be fixed more, and we see the implementation of the, Quant overledger. We're going to start seeing a lot of growth, in my opinion. Time will obviously tell, guys, but if you really connect the dots here, it doesn't take much to, come to a conclusion on where Quant will be heading. Again, that's my personal opinion. And yeah, let's continue.
This is for you to create multi-chain applications. Our customers are we're focusing on enterprise to solve enterprise problems, but also developers to allow them to do this. So this is created by the community, for the community. It's open source, and we're allowing you to use Quant tokens to access the network. And a Quant token is pretty much the same as an iPhone. You have an iPhone, it has some keys on there. It's an access key that you use to access the app ecosystem for Apple. And we're doing the same with the Quant token. And what you can do with Overledger, we actually don't know. We're creating the platform for you to create amazing things. And we've got some ideas. We want to connect AI, as was mentioned with Ocean. AI has a really good convergence with blockchain, and we can allow that across all the chains.
And it's funny how, he's talking about AI back in 2018 here. Of course, it was a big talking point even back then on what AI could be. Back in 2018 was talked about. But the timing as well now with all these AI altcoins and AI, the ChatGPT hype coming about. Of course, we've seen a lot of AI coins. I might make a video on it maybe tomorrow on the top AI altcoins. Subscribe to you, obviously check to stay updated on that. But just the timing as well with all this AI stuff happening is obviously pretty interesting in this perspective.
The smart contracts option that I said with treaty contracts, we're looking for that to happen as well. And then hyper-distributed exchanges, not just decentralized, but hyper-distributed, where they work across multiple chains. So atomic swaps are become real at a hyper-internet scale perspective, and other products. So we're creating this platform for you to create new innovation. And finally, if you're interested, you can own these tokens. So we have our ICO. It's running currently, and you can sign up today. And we've built the system. If you want to do the KYC, we've done it in Switzerland from a regulatory perspective. We're based in the UK. It's all automated, so you have the opportunity to be part of this. And we kind of consider ourselves a Microsoft of blockchain, where we're creating that operating system for you to be able to create new innovation, new technology. And these are our details. So if you would like more information, please reach out. We're quite active in the community. We're across government, we're across enterprise.
But yeah, guys, that brings us to the end of, I guess, the reaction. But the general reaction to this is, you know, a lot of that what he has talked about is coming into fruition now, which is pretty insane. You know, the fact, you know, he's brought up quite a lot of problems that we've seen in the blockchain, and Quant really is out there and is fixing it. Like the problem, of course, the main problem they're fixing really, the fact that you'll be able to use all the blockchains in one, and you'll be able to use the advantages of different blockchains within one decentralized application, which is insane. And it's a problem we've seen, of course, in the past year or two in this bull market as well. But yeah, guys, let me know your thoughts on what you thought about this seminar. And in my opinion, it's probably one of the best sort of like, just imagine yourself being sat there if you had the chance back in 2018. Just imagine, you know, getting all that value, getting to hear about Quant back then. I obviously wish, I know every single one of you probably wish too, but we're still really early in the train, in my opinion. Quant is here for a long time, and it's here to grow, and it's going to be providing a lot of value, hopefully. But yeah, guys, it's me and my Crypto Maxi. I will see you guys in my next video, and yeah, peace.